Hey guys, welcome back to Homestead Prepping and Survival. Well, my son's back in town for a few days, and in about 15 minutes, he dug the first little layer from where I stopped right there to here. Maybe 10 minutes, something like that. Wasn't a whole lot for him. Those roots gave him a little bit of problem, but this ground's a lot softer here where it's not baked in the sun. But either way, he finished the initial breakthrough, so I got the pipe out and I've started putting the pipe together. So all that's glued except the cap on top. It's not, because it's going to run over and come up. I don't want it sticking in front of the building here where anything can hit it. I want it up against the, well, actually the side, but I want it up against the front edge. And I'm going to bring it up about 5 feet up. It's going to be high enough that I ain't got to worry about a tractor tire or mower or anything hitting it. And I'll just insulate it well like I did the chicken pen. But either way, I'm fixing to finish digging this deeper. It needs to go 2 or 3 inches deeper because he basically only got about 3 inches. So I wanted at least 4 inches deep. So I'm going to finish digging this deeper so I can set it in the ground and cover it up with dirt on right here at the end so it'll hold it. And then I've already started digging the other end deeper, coming back this way. I didn't leave as much stubbed out as I thought I did, but either way, I've dug that end out where I can see the end of the pipe right there. There's a cap, so I'll have to dig that up with my little garden spade so I don't break anything. And I'm gonna put a 45 on it right there instead of a 90, so it'll turn this initial corner and the rest of it will just curve. But I've cleaned it out all the way to here, so I need to go another 2 or 3 inches deep all the way back to the other end there. And it turned out to be 50 feet. So I bought 60 feet of pipe last time I bought some pipe because I already had some. And I had 20 feet already done. So that 20 plus 30 more will give me a 50-foot run, and that'll give me a faucet at that end of the mini barn. So if I move my, which I know I've never really showed it to y'all, but let me walk over here. At the end of the old dog pen where all the privy has just gone completely crazy over there, once I tear that pen down, you see there's an old countertop with the sink and stuff there. I want to take that down because that's where I usually process. That's where I clean fish. That's where I process deer, hogs, pigs, whatever, all across that countertop and sinks. So I'm going to move it probably to the outside edge of the new lean-to on that side of the barn. So it won't be under the shelter, but it'll be, the shelter's going to come all the way out to here, somewhere in where the smokehouse was. So I'm at the end of that is where I'm planning on putting that cleaning table, which will be for cleaning deer, processing deer, pigs, hogs, turkeys, chickens, fish, whatever it is I need to do, and I don't want to do it in the house, So that's what the water source is going to be for that. I'll eventually just probably put a Y on it like I did here at the chicken pen, and I'll run one over to a hose to this sink. So I'll have running water there, but I can unhook it and not worry about it in the winter. Excuse me. And then I'm leaving it stubbed out, as you can tell, on the ground, about a foot past where I want to come up to the front of the building. And that's so I can add to it and continue going much further down. But this is 3/4 inch water line, and I'm not trying to get 60 psi, out there at the range. But if I could get some water supply out there, it would make it easier for guys to wash up and all that stuff when we're on the range, if necessary. So anyway, I'm going to finish, hopefully, or I'm going to try, I may not finish it today, but I'm going to try to finish getting deep enough in this trench to go ahead and set the water line down in there and start covering it up so that it's there except for where I need to connect And I'm not ready to connect yet. I do have the faucets. I've got everything I need, but I just don't see me getting done with that much of it today. Because, excuse me, like this here, part of this is pretty close to 4 inches. But I don't want to be any less than 4, so I'm going to finish digging it a little bit deeper, all the way down, you know, all the way through. And then this ground's a lot softer, but I'm going to finish digging it down and get this pipe buried, at least so that it's, you know, out of the way. And if I drive down this way with the truck, it's not a problem. So that's kind of my goal today. But I've already got a couple of videos uploaded, guys. Y'all know I upload and schedule them to come out. So you've got another video or so that's coming out. And this one will probably be the end of this week, which will be, you know, early November. So I've got a little while to go. I'm not going to end it here. I'm going to show you progress as I go. I've already glued all this pipe together. So I want to finish digging where I need to and get the beginning or the end up here buried. And then I'll come back and finish digging deeper the rest of this. So I'll add to this and kind of try to show y'all the whole thing all at once. Now, I'm not showing you me digging. One is, you don't want to see an old fat man out here digging with a pickaxe. Two, it's not any fun any daggone way, and I don't get in no hurry. So you'd be bored to death, other than laughing at an old fat man with a pickaxe. But I think I've got enough pipe here, and like I say, I've got another 33 feet if I need it. So I'll use that little 3-foot piece before I get out another whole 10-foot piece if I need it, you know, once it comes out to where it's curved here. But we'll see about that when I get to it. So we'll see what kind of progress I get done today, and I'll show it to y'all when I'm done for the day and then done for the job. All right, guys. So I dug down with a shovel and pickaxe on this end. I'm a good 6 to plus inches deep here, but not quite as deep right there where it comes out, just because the pipe was laying in there and I had to pick it up to get it out of the trench so I could dig deeper. But either way, I had a little piece of that Armorflex left. I went ahead and put it on. That way I don't have to worry about it matching up with the ground. That piece is down in the ground the full depth. So I'll just have to add another piece here all the way out to the faucet like I did before and mount it to the building. That way it'll be nice and insulated, and it's only about 4 feet high instead of 5, but it's plenty high enough. I should not hit it with anything once it's mounted with the Armorflex and all. I shouldn't hit it with the, I know the lawnmower won't hit it, you know, the tires and frame and stuff, but because you don't get that close. But I'm gonna put garden stakes in the ground here, you know, try to keep the mower from hitting it and breaking anything. But not garden stakes, those fence metal T-posts. I got some short, small ones that'll go there. But anyway, I have went ahead and dug the trench deeper all the way to this back corner, and I've done about 15 feet or so at that end, 10 feet probably. So I've got another, looks like about 25 feet, no, 10, yeah, 10, 20, about 25 feet to go as far as finished getting it deep enough. And I have bought a ton of plumbing supplies to have stockpiled, so that if I have plumbing issues, or my kids or sister or whatever, I'd have everything I needed. Well, I got a box of 50 elbows, a box of 50 couplings, a box of 50 3/4 inch tees. I had one 3/4 to male thread adapter to put the faucet on, and I used it. So I will need to buy, you know, a half dozen or a dozen of those. You don't use them a lot, but so as you can see, if I get closer here, this piece here goes from 3/4 inch to threaded into here, where I can mount it, insulate it all the way up to there. So I've got plenty of everything but that. And I could not find a single 45 elbow instead of 90s. So I may have to have a 45 to connect to that faucet that's over there. Or I may just go in and dig this side of it and connect and then put it down in the ground. I don't know. I'm not redigging a trench. I know that. So I'd rather buy, you know, 15 or 20 45-degree elbows than redig this trench. I can get them through some of our suppliers at work for, you know, a third or less than what Lowe's and Home Depot sell them for. So either way, that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to keep working on this trench and get it, you know, I want at least 4. I'd like closer to 6, but at least 4 inches deep. And I am there on all of this. It's 4 inches plus deep. So I've got to go from the corner out another couple of inches. It's not far from 4 now, but if I go a couple inches, I'll be over that. And then I can tie it in and pressurize it, make sure there is no leak. But I have gone ahead and glued it all while it's nice and dry and can sit out here and cure beforehand. So I shouldn't have any issues. And I did have the pipe comes in here and then tees off and goes to there and elbows up. But I left about 12 inches past that point of pipe sticking out that's capped off, so I can tie into it later if I want to. And that's why I dug it a little deeper than the rest of the trench, because that won't be running. Anyway, I'm working on it, and I ain't scared to tell you, an old fat man tired. Oh, let's see what else I can get done before I quit for the night. All right, that is 4+ inches deep. It's gonna have to do. I've got about 20 feet left to do, and I've already done the last 10, so I really got about 10, 15 at the most feet to finish digging a little deeper. But that's a lot easier digging now that I filled it with water last night. Let it soak in. That ground's a lot easier. This ground right here from the edge of the building out to where I am has been pretty doggone hard. This side that doesn't get baked in the sun because it's on the back side. My sun rises over there and goes that way. So this side stays in the shade. This ground's a lot more damp and softer to dig. And I'm a good 5+ inches down here, if not 6. But out here, I'm probably closer to the 4, between 4 and 5. But either way, that'll do for me. So I'm not going to be able to hook it up because I don't have the 45. And it looks like I'm going to have a little bit of pipe left. And whatever pipe I've got left, instead of having pieces laying around, when I bring that insulation home, I'm going to go ahead and cut this again and add that pipe to it to raise that faucet up higher, because that's about as high as my tractor tires. So that'll get it way up above. Little kids, we can't play with it, and get it where I don't have to worry about if I got close with the tractor or for whatever reason tires and fenders wouldn't hit it, that kind of stuff. So I'm going to use whatever pipe I got left to add to that, but I'm going to cut it and insulate it like I did over at the chicken pen beforehand, so I don't have to split it and then glue it back together and all that good mess. Talking about the insulation, the Armorflex. But I didn't tell y'all this earlier, but I did something I've never done before. Today, I let the teenage pen and the adults out at the same time. And overall, they've gotten along pretty good. It seems like the oldest rooster there and his oldest son want to fight through that fence, and he hasn't bothered with the rest of them. But guys, you know, we thought this little chicken here was a hen because it nursed all these baby blue Orpingtons and Wyandottes when they were babies, and she wasn't very much older than them, maybe a month. But doggone it, that ain't turned out to be a rooster. The spur is already starting to grow, and it's bowing up with the other roosters, and they back down from her or him, and he's grabbing the hens like he's trying to learn how to mount them. So I had a rooster raise all these babies, which surprised me, but you know, maybe that's the way nature works. I don't know. But either way, I've got probably 10 feet left to go, and it's not as bad going an extra inch or two down as it was the original dig through all the grass and the roots and stuff. So I'm gonna try to finish this tonight. I don't know if I will. If I don't, then I'll finish up tomorrow when I get home, and I'll let y'all know when I'm done. But I hope to get it tied in tomorrow so I can pressurize it before I cover it up and make sure nothing leaks, and then come back and just take the shovel and drag all the dirt back over and stomp it down. So I'll let you know when I come back at it. All right, guys, well, it's done got dark on me, but I did finish, and what I'm doing now is what I've been doing the last several weeks as I've been working on this project. I've got the water running, and y'all know I don't keep it wide open for this end because the waters for the chicken can't take the full pressure. So I've got it filling up the trench, and it's already filled. It's already past the corner of the building here. You see it running. So most of it, it's a good gauge for me to tell me where the high spot is, low spot, because most of it, the pipe doesn't touch the water. But right here, it's in the water. But down here, most of it is just barely touching the pipe. So the pipe's not all the way down in the bottom of the ditch, of course. I haven't pushed it down in there. Before I cover it up, I'll do that. I'll put 1 foot on it and cover it with dirt and keep going like that. Like the roots here are holding it up. So, but I did manage to get it done enough for what I'm going to do with a pickaxe and an old fat man. Yes, sir. It's done enough. So tomorrow I will probably come back with the flat blade shovel. Dang, the water's already made it to here. And start covering it up. But I like to see that water run through there just to make sure I don't have a spot that's a problem, and it's been moving pretty steady. Let me zoom in there. You see the water's moving pretty good. So that tells me I don't have it really running uphill. So anyway, it's got about 10 feet left or less to finish filling up, and then I'm gonna turn it off, and then I'll probably move the pipe tomorrow and clean it out one more time, just dragging it through, kind of, you know, taking a 1/2 inch or whatever out, hitting the high spots, and hopefully bring a 45 home tomorrow to make the connection. And of course the faucet for the waterers can still stay turned down low, but this pipe can then get full pressure, and that faucet on the end should have a lot better pressure than what I'm feeding to the chicken waterers. So anyway, all the chickens went back to their normal roost except for one of the blue Orpington roosters, and he was the last one, and I kind of ran him in there. He ran into the adult pen, and they were like, "What are you doing in here?" But I ran him back out, and then he ran straight on in his pen and got up on the roost. So I'm thinking about getting those automatic doors that'll let them out, you know, from sun up to sundown, and that way I don't have to come out and let them out, and they'll get let out every day, not just, you know, when I have time. So I don't know. If I do that, I may add another 2 feet to the fence. I don't know. But it is a possibility, at least on the days that I'm home anyway, have it turned on so they can get out at daylight and go back up on roost. So we'll see. But guys, I am steadily making a little bit of progress. And anybody that's ever used a pickaxe knows that's not something that you want to use for very long. That thing will whoop your tail. But right here, the pipe is about halfway buried, and it's not even sunk down into the bottom of the ditch. So I may grade that out a little bit more. But I'm gonna walk down here. If it's all the way to where I've got it buried, which I started digging this end up again so I could get it a little bit deeper. Yeah, it's all the way to this last coupling right there. It's passing it, so only 2 to 3 feet left, probably 3 feet. I'm gonna go turn the water off, but that'll make it a little easier for me to take another 1/2 inch to 1 inch out of it tomorrow. And I hope y'all are having a good week and a good night. And I know this will come out at the end of the week, so I'm a little bit ahead. I've got a little different video coming out. Should be in the morning for you guys, talking about the national debt and stuff. And I really hope y'all will look at it and pay attention to the numbers, because it's not what everybody tells you. There is a thing called usdebtclock.org that I've been watching for years, and when Ronald Reagan left office, the national debt was at $2 trillion. Two, y'all. Okay, that was a lot, but when he left, he had a balanced budget. $2 trillion. And now it's at 31 plus, and that's just, you know, what they show you, what they're paying basically yearly for what we owe. And I get into all that stuff in that video that's coming out in the morning, so I hope y'all have watched it and are as outraged as I am that our country owes 170 something trillion dollars that we do not have and will never have. There's not that much money. So just another reason for all those foreign countries to hate us, because they don't want to stop loaning us money, because we'll stop helping them. And that's about as far as I leave it on. Don't leave it on much for the chickens. But they're not going to stop loaning us money because we'll stop helping them and stop protecting them and all that. And that's not our job. God didn't put us here to take care of the world. If you treat each other right, you don't need to. There's wars overseas. They've been having wars and fighting each other since before Jesus was born. And they'll be doing it when Jesus comes back. So we need to get our nose out of their business and bring our people home and secure our borders and take care of our people. But anyway, hope you guys are prepping. I love y'all. I do appreciate it. Y'all remember the most important thing. Jesus Christ loves you. Y'all be safe. Be prepared.